Alien's Guide to Being an Earthling, a podcast with me, Dr. Khushboo Shah, a consciousness based guide to creating the life and living you know should be possible with, for, and on planet Earth. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 4 of Alien's Guide to Being an Earthling, a podcast by me, Dr. Khushboo Shah. And today I have a special guest. His name is Troy Aldamaz. Hello, Troy. And
Hello. Hello, everybody.
I'm so happy that you're here.
Me.
He he's also an Access Consciousness Facilitator, and I've known Troy from the classes that we attend together with Shannon O'Hara, another Access Consciousness Facilitator. That's how I know him. I think he's brilliant. I don't know him personally that much, but I know he's brilliant. And this is the first time I'm going to have an in-depth conversation with him, and I am so happy that he's here. So,
Thank you so
Troy,
much.
thank you. So tell me a little bit about you, Troy. So how was your childhood growing up? And what is it that led you to finding access consciousness or the tools of access consciousness?
That's a great question. And it's like when you said that, how was my childhood?
I know that's like a big question.
Yeah, there was like a lot. Like I get like there was a lot of going on, and like I get like to summarize it in general. Like my most of my childhood was based on avoiding as much as possible, and I was like looking to check out in every opportunity that I can. And like for me, that was mostly with playing computer games.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because there's a lot of things in my life that I decided that I cannot deal with. So I was like, okay, like the best way to survive or be here is just to like avoid it and like put my focus on something different. And like that went on for a long time. Until I would say like I went to university and like I leave my home and then I leave
Right.
like, living with my parents. Um, I get like when I made that choice, like things started to become like more free and I started to have like way more free time and way more choices that with what I can do in life. And like for a long time actually I did like keep playing computer games and like there was just like one point I was like, okay, like this is actually not working. Like it was not like entertaining me or
Yeah.
maybe I didn't have like the necessity to avoid as much. And then I was like, okay, like I would like to have something different. And I was like watching a lot of people on YouTube and I was like reading some books and it seemed like when I was like doing like what they told me that I should do, like it would give me like a temporary relief, but then I would just end up in the same shit again, and I would like end up being like desperate or cranky or like not happy as, or I wouldn't have like a sense of lightness.
Yeah.
And like one day actually my mom she come to me and it was a time in my life like I was in the medical school. I think it was like my first or it could be like the second year. I cannot exactly recall it. And she was like, hey, I got this thing called Access Bars, would you like me to do it to you? And I was like, okay. And like she started to run my bars, and that was the way that actually I first find access.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. There is so much in what you said. So going back to, but the word that keeps popping for me is to ask you more about avoidance. So
Hmm.
what is it that you were avoiding, and what can avoidance look like for
Yeah,
people?
I love that you asked that question. And I get like what was I was avoiding is like we had like a lot of conflict at home. Like my dad, like my mom, like they didn't like each other. And in my personal point of view, it would be way greater if they didn't live together, but they were. And it was just like
Yeah.
a lot of that was going on, and the other thing that I get like I was not willing to be as different than I was, and
Yeah.
there was a lot of like me trying to fit in, and I get like when you're trying to fit in, like you don't give yourself much choice. And I get like that was one of the things that was happening, like because I was not allowing myself to choose what I really would like to choose. It
Yeah.
was leading me to a lot of suppression and avoidance at the same time. And yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. So I think it's so relevant for so many people out there. Like, if you didn't grow up in a household that was happy and you were
Mm.
surrounded by conflict, etc., etc., you're not even taught really in school or anywhere how to deal with life. So I think avoidance and suppression would be your best tools then.
Yeah.
They don't really work, is what you realize later. But I think avoidance is what you go to because what do you do? So
Mm.
so what happened? So after you got your bars done for the first time, or maybe it was, I mean, so how did things start changing? How did you stop avoiding? What is it that actually, what tool actually gave you the sense of having you again?
Hmm. Yeah, I would say like definitely bars.
Yeah.
Like the more that I got my bars run, I'm gonna say like there will be this sense of communion and there will be this sense of joy and like knowing everything will be okay. Like I am supported, like the universe do have my back, and like this would be something that I would like experience when I was a kid for like a very little period of time. It would be like a flash, like going like, oh, like I like know that, and then like there would be like all of this heaviness again. And it seemed like when I was getting my burst run that lightness was actually maintaining itself. Like it was not like just going away. Like I was actually growing and becoming greater. And for me, I was like, this is so good. Like whatever this is, I want more of this. And like my mom keep running my bars miraculously. Thank you so much, mom, if you're watching this in the future.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And then I find a beautiful book called Being You Changing the World from Dr. Dane here. And if you haven't read that book yet, I will highly recommend it. It's
yeah,
such a phenomenal book that been a massive contribution. And from there on, I just like keep playing with the tools, keep attending classes, and yeah,
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
becoming
I
greater.
love it. Yeah, Being You Changing the World, one of my favorite books, and one of the first books that I found as well of Access. It's like a book that I have on my nightstand, like anytime
Yeah,
I'm sort of like, in a funk, I'll just
yeah,
open whatever page and it's exactly what I need to
yeah,
hear, what I need to like question, exactly what I require. It's like this, oh, it's a magical book which you should check out. We will
yeah.
definitely put the link to it if you don't already have it, then go check it out. Wow. Cool. So the access bars, the Being You book, the tools of access. So now, um, I also know that at some point you also studied or you were studying medicine and then changed your track. Could you talk a little
Hmm.
bit about that as well?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I was in medical school, and actually I've been there for 4 years. I failed on the second year, so that's why I quit it on the third year of medical school. And like for me, the reason that I personally choose medical school, like everybody was like, "Oh, like you are kind, you're caring, so you would be a good doctor." Like that was
Yeah.
most of the people told me, and in the time that actually I was able to, I think you call like win or like do whatever points that I have to do to get into the medical school. So I was like, okay, like
Yeah.
let me give it a go. And like for me, actually was like quite challenging because like when I go to the medical school, like it was a different beast, I'm gonna say. Like there was a lot of information that they want me me to memorize. And one
Yeah.
of the things that I'm not good at is memorizing. Like if you like tell me to memorize something, I'm like, I cannot do this. But if you give me
Yeah.
the whole picture and actually give me the information about like where we're gonna use this and like break it down, like I'm more able to have that information with me. And
Yeah.
it was a like I'm gonna say like it was like a very like exactly like the way that you named the podcast. Like I was feeling like an alien, like
Yeah.
because everybody around me like seemed they had it worked out and they seemed that everything was okay. And I was like what is going on with me? Like what is my problem? Like everybody seemed to like fit into this structure and able to deliver what they're asking from
Yeah.
them. And like I was like keep resisting, keep reacting, and having a lot of difficulties. And I get like it was not like just my greatest ability. Like it was just like I was actually trying to be good at something that I was not naturally good at. And I get like that would put me into a lot of conflict with myself and a lot of
Yeah.
judgment of myself because I was like, am I stupid? Like, what is my problem? Because I was like putting in all of these hours and like getting not a good result. And
Yeah.
thanks to Access, like I would say like this tool that I will be giving right now is the one that really allow me to choose something totally different, which is what is true for you is light. And if something is heavy, that is a lie. And and I remember like first reading this in the Being You Change the Workbook, and I was like, this is awesome. Like this is
Yeah.
so cool. Because if I choose what's light for me, that means I will have more lightness.
Yeah.
And the more that I explored this tool, I was like, oh, actually, for me, because I don't want to like say right here, like, oh, it's going to medical school is right or going to medical school is wrong. But for me, it was just a choice that was not congruent with the future that I would like to create.
Yeah.
And when I have this pool, I was like, oh, like maybe there's something different available and possible for me. And like when I tapped into that possibility, it was super, super light.
Yeah.
And I get like that was one of the basic tools or like they're basic, but they're super potent tools that allow me to choose something different.
I love that.
Hmm.
Oh, there's so much there. So you basically became aware of the future that you were asking for wasn't congruent with what you were choosing then, right?
Hmm.
Basically, because I've been there, done that, right? Like exactly
Yeah.
what changed my field completely. Obviously, but after, however, I still remember how uncomfortable that choice was, uh, and how I could have easily mistaken that uncomfortable for heavy, and I was just choosing to escape it, except I had to really, really, really have my back and go like, you know what? No, I need to follow my lightness. Okay.
Yeah.
So for those who are listening to this out there, wherever you are in life, and if you get a sense of the future you want to create, right? And that's exactly what he said. So I remember I was working at a dentist clinic. I was interning at an orthodontist clinic because that's what I thought I was going to become, an orthodontist. And there was a moment there when I saw my life as that. And it was so heavy for me. I was like, shit, is this how my life is going to be for the like I remember just like being really heavy and then going like, no, this is not it. Like I know I need something else. Now I didn't have this vocabulary. I wasn't even doing access then, so I didn't know light or heavy, or I didn't know congruency or anything. So I didn't
Amazing.
even really. But the reason I'm bringing it up is for whoever's listening is have your back. Like, even if it does turn out wrong, at least you will get awareness of what is actually working for you. So if you are doing something and you feel like Troy, or you feel like me and you feel like shit, you start feeling stupid, or you feel like you're not good enough, or um, it's not that, it's just you're different and there's something else that, that you could create and ask for, that is waiting for you, that you
Mm,
may not know what it is right now. And you may not find it in any course online or anything, etc. But just hold your ground, have your back, and start following your lightness. Okay. So
mm, mm.
thank you
Yeah,
so much for picking this up. So
yeah.
ah,
It's
and I
huge.
remember
Like,
it being very uncomfortable, because I mean, I don't know how it is in your culture, but in my culture also, it's like you need to have a predictable future.
a
So
solid, a
the
solid
solid,
plan.
predictable future, that's how you
Very
create your
future.
life, right? Like the way you're supposed to create your life is, do you have a predictable future? And suddenly I had no predictable future at all, because I had no clue what I wanted to do. And I find the bars. And how do you explain bars to people who, especially your parents? Because, yeah, and it's different here. It was different with Troy. So slightly different stories, but yet the same thing, which is, if it's light for you, it's true for you. Okay. If you're finding yourself in a funk, or just heavy, and you're feeling like you're not excited about the future that you're creating anymore, you want to start asking some questions.
I actually love that. I absolutely love that. Like, if you're not excited for the future, now you're
Yeah.
in a great, like, starting to like really ask some questions, because like one of the things that you mentioned was like it's not about escaping either. It's not about like, oh, like I'm gonna escape, like because that's actually a different version of avoiding.
Yeah.
It's taking action, like really starting to ask. And you can ask this question, like, what future that I would like to create?
I love it. Yes.
And,
Everyone is saying, what future would I like to create? Okay.
and is like what you are choosing right now, today, is getting you closer to that, or actually is it like taking you away from that? And if it is, like as Khushboo said, like maybe you can start some asking some different questions. And that's why we have all of these books and these classes on access consciousness, to like really empower you and educate you about asking a question. Because I know, like, I had no clue about asking a question. Like I would just like ask these questions, and I was trying to like find these answers. I was like, okay, like if I'm asking this question, like how I'm gonna like map this out, like how I'm gonna
Yeah.
find out like all of these answers, instead of like asking an open question to the universe. And that could be simply saying, hey, universe, actually, you know what? I have no clue how to get there, or I have no clue like what is next. Can you please contribute to me? What else
Yeah.
is possible here? Show me the way. And when you are willing to be with that question, always, 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 universe delivers that information.
Love it. Okay.
Hmm.
I love it. Keep it open, and know that you have always been supported by the universe, and just, and ask and you shall receive is one of the laws of the universe. So if you ask, you will receive. So it's not that the
Hmm.
universe has singled you out and mm, doesn't want to gift to you, or you did something wrong and bad, and so you don't deserve it. None of that is true. Like you failed in the first year of medicine, so you're like
Yeah,
so
your future will be disrupted.
undeserving. Yeah, and your future is like short, or oh wow, all of that is such a lie, and it's such a control mechanism. Um, there is so much more out there. Okay, relax. The universe has your back. Um, Escaping is not going to work after a bit. So at some point, you're going to have to get really present with what is the future that you would like to create, and then let the universe show you the way. You don't have to figure it all out. In fact, if I mean, if someone told you, Troy, today that you would be an like, someone told you when you were like, 10, or, a teenager, you would be an access consciousness facilitator, or you would be a talk to the entities facilitator, like,
No way. Yeah, like there's
Yeah.
no way that I will say like structure it or actually tell people about like where I will be today. And I get like that's one of the things that was the biggest challenge for me because when I would talk with people and tell them that I'm gonna quit medical school, like their was response would be, so then what? Like what you gonna do? Like this is like one of the best possibilities that you can
Yeah.
get in this reality. And are you gonna like quit this job and go work in a cafe or are you gonna work in a car like fixing place
Yeah.
or what are you gonna do? Like that was the the first answer or the first question that people, it's not even a question, it's more like a judgment that they would towards me. And like I would just go, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna
Yeah.
follow the lightness. But because one of the things that I know, if I keep follow what is light for me, that will give me more lightness, it will give me more possibilities, and it is undefinable. And I get like that's one of the things that I'll like make people not choose, or they would actually prefer to be where they are because you cannot predict it. It's
Yeah.
not
Exactly.
solid. It's not
Not solid.
controllable.
Love it.
Mm.
So, for everyone out there who this is relevant to, it's
All the
okay
control freaks
to
out
yeah,
there.
all the aliens out there. It's okay to not know. It's okay to not be sure of what your next path is. Like, relax. In fact,
Mm.
that's a good sign. That is actually where something completely different, that is actually truly light for you, can show up.
Mm.
And I know that can be very uncomfortable. However, if you just relax and not listen to anyone who needs you to have a very predictable answer, um, and just listen to what the universe has in store for you, it'll turn out better than you can imagine. So
Mm.
don't
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah. Yeah. Like things that keep showing up for me, like when I do follow what I know, like
Yeah,
way greater than anything that I thought it would be. And if you're like uncomfortable, like I just want to point out at the same time, like even if I have after I have the tools, like it took me 3 years to like make that jump. And I like tested like the tools like in all kind of ways. I was like, I'm gonna
love
put
it.
these into
Yeah,
tests. Like
yeah,
I would like do this with if somebody asked me like, oh, would you like to meet? I would go, oh, like, is this light for me? Like, is this gonna expand my life? Is it heavy for me? Like, and I would like attending some projects or like choosing with everything clothes. I would just like ask all of these questions and I started to play with it. And I get like that's the beauty, like with access, like please don't take our words.
yeah.
Like start to use the tools, like see what it creates for you. And if it brings more lightness, if it brings more possibility, like maybe you want to try this in different areas of your life. Hmm.
I love it. Yeah, you don't have to do anything just because we say it or any person says it. Just try it, see if it works for you, and then choose more.
Hmm. Yeah. Choose more. And I would just all people to when you're wherever you are in your life right now, that you are not wrong.
Yeah.
And don't have to judge yourself. Or I'm gonna say even like when you judge yourself, like did you ever judge yourself and it created something greater in your life? Oh.
Never.
And what if instead of judging you, like making yourself wrong or trying to like push yourself, like that was my initial response. I was like, okay, like no, I have to do this, I have to quit, or I have to. Like, what if you just go, hey, do you know what? Just for today, like what if the biggest choice that you can make towards creating a lighter life for you and the planet is not judging yourself with
Yeah.
whatever that you are choosing.
Believe me, the world would be such a beautiful place to live if we stopped judging ourselves and
Hmm.
oh, How does it get better?
How
Thank
it
you
gets.
so much, Troy. This is brilliant. I love this conversation. There is so much information in there. Oh,
Hmm.
so I hope
Thanks so
this
much for
episode,
inviting me.
yeah,
And yeah,
I love it.
hmm.
And I love these conversations because I get to talk to you. I just know you from like
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's just it's like for me it keeps surprising me like when I meet with someone that I kind of know from like away because like all of us have like these different stories and like make these like huge phenomenal choices and like for me it just
yeah,
always makes me like so happy to hear these real life stories about what people choose and what it created. So it's so beautiful. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you, Troy. And thank you everybody who listened to this and who will listen to this in the future. Please stay tuned for more conversations as we invite more awesome guests like Troy. And how does it get better? Thank
Oh,
you.
that's
See you all next time.
thank you so much, Khushboo. Thanks so much everybody that's watching. Bye.
Bye.
Mm.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. To know more, check out my website www.the-earthlings.com. To know more about Access Consciousness, go to www.accessconsciousness.com. If this contributed to you, do share and invite more listeners. And don't forget to subscribe. See you on the next episode.